Hey guys, thank you so much for joining the Bill and Pablo show. I'm Bill, and that's Pablo right there. We're going to be discussing the big trade that went down in the NBA this past week. And so, Pablo, who do you think won this trade? There were four teams involved.
I
Who do you
think
think
for
won the
me,
trade?
I think for me, unquestionably, the winner is Brooklyn. I think anytime you have a chance to add to your superstar talent when you already have Kevin Durant, one of the greatest scorers the league has ever seen, and you have the opportunity to pair him with one of the greatest scorers in the generation in James Harden, I think unquestionably you give up whatever it is that you have to give up, and you pull the trigger and you see how the experiment will work. So I think for me, Brooklyn is the unquestioned winner. I think they were already title aspirants, title contenders. I think the addition of James Harden potentially just brings them over the top. So, yes, I know that they gave up a lot, both in terms of future draft picks and also current players that could definitely help them and contribute.
Hmm.
But like I said, this is a superstar league. I think it's a no-brainer for me that you give up whatever it is that you have to give up. You mortgage your future if you have to add James Harden to your team and see where this new big three really takes you. So for me, James Harden is a top 5 player in the NBA, top 10 player, and you pair him with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving that were already there. The unquestionable winner for me is Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, eh? Um, I actually think that Houston actually kind of won the trade. They got a solid player who's been an all-star in Victor Oladipo, who's not kind of happy with his whole situation. They got other players I don't really want to discuss. They're just other players, kind of role players at this point. They were also trying to get under the cap, which kind of makes sense. The Milwaukee pick we'll kind of gloss over.
Well,
That's
there's a
not going to be
lot.
much of
There's
a
a
pick.
lot. I think Victor Oladipo, there's a lot of rumors that he actually doesn't want to stay in Houston. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can flip him, who they'll flip him to. I know Miami's been thrown out as a possible destination, and what they get in return for Victor Oladipo as well. But
Absolutely.
like
He's
I
on.
mentioned earlier, I just don't think those draft picks will hold as much value as people think. The Houston Rockets will legitimately have to turn them into something if they do end up, as we all expect them to. If Brooklyn does end up being a playoff team, a high win team, and the picks end up being in the back end of the first round, Houston is going to have to do some really good drafting to make those picks equivalent to what they just lost.
Yeah, they do have seven potential picks they can get from them. So there's a Milwaukee pick, which is not going to be very good. We'll kind of skip that. That came out of Cleveland. That Cleveland owned the rights to that pick, so we'll kind of skip that one.
Mm-hmm.
But they have three picks, which you can't trade in the consecutive years. So I'm assuming they're
Mm-hmm.
every other year. And on top of that, so you're thinking about if they have seven picks in total, every other year they'll have Brooklyn's pick. You're thinking that Brooklyn's going to be that good, that they're going to be consistently at the
Well,
back end of the first round.
I think not every pick will be in the back end of the first
Yeah,
round.
the
It obviously all
first
depends
two.
on how the chemistry between the new big three goes. But I think the first two will definitely be in the back end. I don't think the pick swaps will happen, again, because Brooklyn will be a high win team and Houston will be a struggling team. So they'll automatically already have a higher pick. I don't think the pick swaps will happen, which was another
Pick
component
swap.
in the deal. Yeah, I just don't think the pick swaps benefit Houston greatly since, like I said, they'll probably be the struggling team and compared to Brooklyn. So I don't think the pick swaps will factor in at all. I actually
Right.
think that if things end up going Houston's way, the maximum amount of picks that they will get in terms of quality value will be 2, maybe
Two. That's I don't know. I don't think they're
2.
going to get a James. Like it's very unlikely they'll get a James Harden pick. Those are one of the generational type of player. But if you can get two solid
Absolutely.
all star, maybe a star, like a top 10 type of player in one of those picks, or even let's say you hit two because
Mm-hmm.
you have seven picks, you hit even two of those seven picks. I think that's a solid return for a team who had a disgruntled star who didn't want to be there, was literally just ruining everything that came with the team. I think Houston actually won this trade for the situation they were in. Like you have to take all the factors into account. If you just look at it as face value, like if they didn't have to trade them, then yeah, sure. In the short term, you could say that Brooklyn probably won the trade. Then we still have to see their chemistry and how all that works out. But I think overall, as a team and the team situation that Houston was in, they got a haul, and we knew they were kind of going to get that after the Drew Holiday trade that went down in the summer where Milwaukee gave up two first rounders. But Yeah, we knew they were going to get big haul, and they got more than a big haul. I think that was an amazing job for the new GM there.
No question. No question. I won't question that given the circumstances. They're back up against the wall. Everyone knowing that James Harden wanted to leave. It was reported that he wanted to leave before the season even started, that he wanted to go to Brooklyn, and then how the events transpired where he eventually ended up giving up on the team publicly, let's say. They did a fantastic job of negotiating and getting the haul that they did for a disgruntled player, as you said. And I actually think their biggest win comes in terms of cap room. They just recently shed the contract of Russell Westbrook, even though they got John Wall's albatross of a contract in return. But giving up that James Harden contract actually definitely opens up their checkbook, and it gives them a little bit more maneuvering room to do what they want to do and really build the team going forward. But it's hard for me to believe that given how Brooklyn looks at this moment in time, and granted, we haven't seen the big three play a single game together, obviously, but Brooklyn right now is a championship team on paper. It's going to be hard to convince me that Houston won the trade when Brooklyn, who already had title aspirations, just got better on paper and is undoubtedly, again, one of the favorites, if not the favorite, for the NBA title right now.
We'll see how they fill out the rest of the roster, but I think they're going to be very top heavy where nobody really plays defense. Curry and Harden, they don't play defense. And Durant, I don't know how good his lateral quakes and everything still is on the defensive end coming off that Achilles. They're going to be atrocious, I think.
He's been playing great on the defensive end so far.
That's only a few games into the season. We'll see how his Achilles kind of holds up throughout the season and into the playoffs when he's got to play heavier, like 40-plus minutes, because they're all top heavy. They have no depth at this point.
As always, thanks so much for watching, you guys. Don't forget to hit that like and that subscribe button if you enjoyed the content of this video. It's been your boy Pablo with my boy Bill. You already know what it is. Till next time, peace.